Hey guys, what's going on? Doing my afternoon drive home. Was thinking about the idea. There's the popular old school quote, "What doesn't kill you make you stronger." I actually don't like that because what doesn't kill you might also make you weak. So let's compare those two. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. This has an assumption behind it. Think about a time you or somebody else might have experienced something and you pulled unhealthy habits from it. You didn't necessarily get stronger from it. What's the outcome? Were you really stronger on the outside, on the outcome? Because just because you make it through something doesn't mean you grow through it. What did you actually learn? What did you take from it? If I am externally focused and I blame circumstances, I'm not growing through the circumstances just because I make it through. I didn't necessarily learn anything from it. I didn't grow from the experience because my emphasis was on what I couldn't control or the woe is me type mentality. And so what I want to focus on is what can I learn from each experience? What can I take from each experience? What skills can I learn to make me stronger, to make me more emotionally aware so I can regulate emotionally? And I think that's where the idea of mental performance psychology, is learning skills. Resilience is not a skill. I was just talking to a coworker about this today. I don't believe resilience and leadership are skills. Resilience is the demonstration of your ability to grow and thrive through stress and adversity. Similarly, leadership is the demonstration of your ability to lead people and produce results. And so leadership itself isn't a skill. Leadership is a demonstration of skills. It's your toolbox. Leadership is the box, right? You got to open the box, grab skills, and then do the things necessary to lead people, lead organizations, and achieve results either individually or as a team or as an organization. And I think that's a pretty important distinction because the comment that was made to me during this conversation, this individual didn't really know much about sports psychology and performance psychology and mental performance coaching. And having a background in education, they were always under the assumption and were always told that grit can't be taught, that you either have it or you don't. And so grit being that substance within us to persevere through difficulty. There's actually a book called Grit, and this concept in self-development and organizational development and training on grit. And grit is that characteristic of making it, getting through the difficult things. But even that is, what's the outcome? Because I could bang my head up against the wall and never get anywhere. That actually cause more damage than good, right? I could try to break down a door and not get anywhere, or maybe it's the wrong door. I can use a lot of analogies here. I think that a couple of the words that I'm getting at are deliberate and intentional, with an eye on the productive outcome. What do I actually want to accomplish here? I want to have a productive outcome, whether it be, a stressful situation, health concerns, work conflicts, relationship conflicts, whatever struggle you might be experiencing. I want a productive outcome. May or may not be a win, but it's the best possible outcome, or at least the best productive outcome. And so with an eye on the best productive outcome, I have to consider what are the steps necessary to get there. And in order to consider the steps necessary to get there, along with that, is what are the skills that I need to employ? You could easily take a sports approach to this. If I want to win the game, I have to have an effective strategy that my team can execute, right? Not just any strategy, but the strategy that works for the people that are on my team, their skills and their talents. And then along the way, I'm working those skills and talents to either improve the strategy or improve the skills themselves so the strategy is more effective, right? So that's a sports metaphor, but you can apply that to business, to military, to healthcare professionals, first responders. All of that is applicable in this sports analogy. And when it comes to self-help, self-development, what is it that you're actually trying to achieve, and what are the things that you need to develop so that you can get better? And under that idea of what doesn't kill you might make you weak is, what is the attitude and perspective that you're carrying into your experiences? Are you a self-loathing person who doesn't believe in themselves? Are you a blame type person that's going to focus on external circumstances and, whether it be woe is me, or have a bunch of excuses of why things didn't go, even when there was something you could control? Because there's always something within your control. And at the minimum, it's your attitude and your mindset. Because even under struggle, I get it, right? This goes back to my discussion on the leadership characteristics of empathy and accountability. I get it. You're struggling. Everybody struggles. What is it about successful people? It's not that the successful people don't experience stress. It's that they are, and define success how you want. I'm not just talking about, sports figures and business professionals. I'm talking about people that have successful, happy, healthy relationships. What is it that they do? My wife and I don't fight or argue any more or less than anybody else, right? It's not about what we never argue. We do have disagreements, but we have an outcome that we desire, which is to maintain our happy, healthy relationship. And that if we disagree fairly to ensure that we have an eye on still being respectful. So we try to ensure that we are talking and behaving respectfully to the other person, and that encourages a productive resolution to the issue. So tying this back to the original point of the video is, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger only if you are deliberate and intentional. And this is very important for preparation, in that don't wait for stress and adversity to hit you and think that you're going to be able to manage everything fine, not only the external circumstances, but also your internal mental state, your physical state, your emotional state. These are things that you have to prep for and practice ahead of time, and then slowly acclimate yourself to more stressful situations. If I said, hey, we're going to step outside and go run a marathon, most of us aren't going to be able to do that. We need at least some prep time, some of us more than others. Some of us are more prepared than others for that particular circumstance. And it's not about being naturally talented. Yeah, some people are more genetically and characteristically predisposed to be emotionally regulated. Other people, whether it be characteristics or environmental factors that lead them to be more likely to be emotionally dysregulated, meaning to lose your shit, to lose your temper, to feel excessively sad or anxious, or whatever it is, the strong emotion that you feel. Got it. But that is not an excuse to avoid doing the work. That's like, somebody's out of shape or overweight. Oh, well, that's just the way that I am. No, you still need to have a healthy diet and go exercise. That is your personal responsibility. So prepping for a healthy lifestyle requires healthy habits. If you want to be able to effectively grow and thrive through stress and adversity, you have to prepare so that you can act accordingly when stress and adversity hits you. Humans are creatures of habit. And if you have a habit of getting angry or getting sad or getting defensive or getting anxious or whatever is the strong response that you experience, the more you do that, the more likely you are to have that natural reaction every time something like that comes up or a similar circumstance. So if you want to practice having a better response to your spouse who challenges you, then you need to practice a better response. You need to be more proactive in practicing emotional regulation, emotional intelligence, self-awareness, understanding what your physical responses are to certain circumstances, and work that backwards and understand that, first of all, and take responsibility that you have emotional triggers and physical reactions to certain things. We all do. That's not emotional triggers. People don't like that term. Like, oh, only weak people have emotional triggers. No, it's a biological response to stress, and everybody has it, and you have to take responsibility for your emotional triggers, your natural biological responses. Understand them, and then figure out what you can do about them. Because if you do not, the things that challenge you, the things that don't kill you, might make you weak.